How are you guys doing today?
Very
Good.
good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. You guys came by our studio, I believe, at Sundance for
Mhm.
this, but I hadn't seen the movie. And now I've seen it, and I want to talk to you both because you both did such an incredible job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Um,
Does that mean back then you didn't want to talk to us?
no, I mean, you listen. You have a reputation. You're like diva-esque. I need to avoid people. I'm joking. That is so
Diego's
not the case.
difficult. He's really difficult.
I'm
Right.
so I'm so joking. Listen, the thing about this movie is, first of all, I really want to say this is a great film, and I really hope anyone watching this will tune in. I really want to know because it's what was it like reading the script for the first time? Because there's so much that keeps you guessing, and a lot of in-camera edits, and a lot of you wondering what exactly is going on. I'm curious, what is it like to read that on the page?
When I read the script, I had no idea what was actually going on. It was the same experience that I imagine you have when you watch the film. And that was what was compelling about it. I couldn't stop reading it because I wanted to know what happened. And when I found out what happened, I was shocked and I started sobbing. It was very visceral and very intuitive. And it was a really beautiful script to read. It felt like something that was very literary. When I decided to do the film and we it came to making the film, it was a totally different experience. It was suddenly incredibly technical, and how do you make that work? It was a very difficult thing to pivot between the present and the past. It was Diego and I. It was very clunky. There was no like of those scenes where we kind of hop back and forth and comment on ourselves. Um, Difficult to feel good about that.
Please be aware there's smoke in the kitchen. The alarm may sound.
Yeah,
It's going to
welcome
be
to
loud.
Zoom. It's the English smoke alarm. Please be aware your house is on fire. I think
But you're not a fighter, no?
Diego, speak.
Yeah. To be honest, when I read the script, I wasn't thinking as an actor or about playing it, or anything, but just like how eloquent it was, how well written it was, how smart and brave it was. There was this. It sounded like an amazing challenge. Not many films are actually taking. It was a very risky project. It sounded risky because it made sense, but at the same time, you could see easily how this was gonna become unachievable too. Because it aims really far. And emotionally, I was there with the characters because I think it's just simple people, regular people going through the most intense moment you can go in your life, which is parenthood, and I thought this is a really smart way to do a film about love, about everyone, and it hit me in the right spot because I found myself reflecting on it for weeks.
Yeah, it really punched me in the face last night as I watched the film, and it really hit me. Especially, I think we've all dealt with loss, and this film is very powerful. I have to ask you, Sienna, because you really give a really emotional performance in this film, and you touch on the fact that there's very complicated camera moves and sequences where you have to hit certain marks. What is it like as an actor trying to maintain that emotional honesty in a scene while also knowing you need to do certain moves and adjust, and be in certain positions for the camera?
It's something that I'm not so good. I'm really I feel like where my capabilities lie is sort of being truthful and like diving into something. That side of it was complicated. It just took a real trust in Tara and a real patience and a real kind of, I don't know, it's difficult. You don't have a choice when you're doing an independent film and you have a limited budget and you have limited time and you have to get something within a certain bandwidth. Um, it's frustrating, it's complicated, but it's just like and you hope that it pays off. You never know when it's something like this. It's sort of untried, untested, unlike anything I'd ever done before. but I understood the vision that she had, and I saw the film and I was like, God, she knew what she was doing. She achieved what she set out to do. And I'm so glad that we kind of trusted her through it.
For both of you, I've spoken to a lot of actors that talk about how they always wish they could refilm the first 2 days of any movie because they feel like, you know, like they now know the characters after a few days. Do you guys have that? Do you have that experience on projects?
Yeah.
On every project. I mean, every project. In fact, you know, it has like become a rule on a way, you know, that at least when I work in projects more as a producer or even as a director, you have to know that the first 2 days you're gonna have to go back to them. If you don't budget that at the beginning, you're doing a big mistake, because it's, who can be so sure at the beginning of anything? I mean, if you trust someone doing one thing for the first time that they know what they're doing, I mean, you're doing something really wrong, you know. And in film, it's all about what happens with the encounter of people. So you have to be patient.
I just heard something. Someone told me that Donald Sutherland, in all of his contracts, he makes it that the first week of filming has to be from the middle of the movie because of how he thinks that in the middle, people have already bought into what he's selling at the beginning. So, and that's in his contract. I thought it was brilliant.
He was so good in The Undoing. My God, he was amazing. I'm gonna take a leaf out of that book.
Yeah, I think it's
the power of Donald Sutherland.
Listen, I think it's actually, after hearing that, I'm like, that's the most brilliant advice I've ever heard.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah, it's almost like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, think about that. Yeah, by this point he probably does.
Yeah, he's okay. Before I run out of time, Diego, I have to ask you an individual question because I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I know that you're filming something right now. I know you can't talk specifically about anything, but I'm curious, what was it like reading the scripts for this project for the first time? And because I'm just curious what you can tease about it and your reaction to the scripts.
I was, yeah, I'm still in love with them, you know. I'm still in love with all the material. I really appreciate collaborating with Tony Gilroy. He's amazing, and very exciting, very exciting. I can tell you that it's quite a unique approach to the world of Star Wars, and I'm loving every second. Yeah.
I wish I could ask you 17 other questions about it. I'm just saying I'm very excited.
I'm not going to answer them, but you can. I mean,
100%. And also, I'm looking forward to Anatomy of a Scandal.
Thank you. Good. Yay.
Yeah. On that note, I already got to go. But seriously, anyone watching this interview, watch this film. You guys did such a great job.